There are moments when faith feels ordinary, almost unnoticed, tucked into the routines of family life and quiet obedience. Moments when nothing dramatic happens, no miracle interrupts the day, yet something holy is being shaped beneath the surface. Many people wait for God to move in fire and thunder, but often His work begins in the unnoticed faithfulness of someone who keeps showing up year after year, trusting that obedience still matters even when the story feels unresolved. That kind of faith rarely draws attention. It doesn't announce itself with bold words or heroic acts. Instead, it walks the same road again, carries the same prayers, and believes that God is present even when life feels painfully repetitive. This is where the story of Elkanah begins, not with a prophet or a miracle, but with a man whose steady devotion created space for God to move in an extraordinary way. Elkanah lived in a time when spiritual compromise was common, yet he remained committed to honoring God. Each year, he traveled with his family to worship and offer sacrifices, faithfully observing what God required. His life shows consistency rather than spectacle, a quiet rhythm of obedience that did not depend on convenience or emotional reward. Though his household was complicated and marked by tension, Elkanah did not abandon his responsibility to lead his family toward the presence of God. Within his home, Elkanah faced deep emotional strain. He loved Hannah, yet she carried the pain of barrenness and the humiliation brought by Peninnah's taunts. Elkanah tried to comfort Hannah with human affection and reassurance, offering her extra portions and words of care, but he could not heal the ache she carried. His love was sincere, but it was limited, revealing that even the most devoted human support cannot replace what only God can do in the depths of a wounded heart. Still, Elkanah did not allow the pain in his household to pull him away from worship. Year after year, he returned to the house of God, choosing faithfulness even when answers had not yet arrived. His steadiness created a spiritual environment where Hannah felt safe enough to pour out her soul before God. Elkanah's role was not to fix everything, but to remain faithful, allowing God to work through surrender rather than control. One lesson from Elkanah's life is that consistency in faith matters more than visibility. He is not remembered for dramatic prayers or public miracles, yet his regular obedience positioned his family within the presence of God. Many people underestimate the power of showing up spiritually when life feels messy, but God often uses quiet faithfulness as the foundation for future breakthroughs. Another truth revealed in Elkanah's story is that love does not always remove pain, but it can provide support while God does the deeper work. Elkanah loved Hannah deeply, yet he could not replace her longing or answer her prayers. His compassion reminds us that our role is not always to solve someone's struggle, but to walk beside them while trusting God to move in ways we cannot. Elkanah also teaches that spiritual leadership begins at home. By prioritizing worship and honoring God despite personal challenges, he modeled reverence that shaped the atmosphere of his family. That environment allowed Hannah to encounter God personally and eventually experience transformation. Faith passed on through example often speaks louder than words. In the end, Elkanah's story reminds us that God often works through people who never stand at the center of the miracle. Elkanah did not receive a prophetic word or witness a sign in the sky, yet his faithfulness made room for Samuel, one of Israel's greatest prophets, to be born. His life shows that obedience in ordinary seasons can echo through generations. When we choose faithfulness in quiet places, God is already at work, weaving purposes far greater than we can see and proving that steady devotion still carries eternal weight.